CTV family. Catch us live on your TV screens.
Welcome back to the biggest, the baddest, and the most hip and happening new show in the motherland. We bring you greatness like we should.
Yeah.
Joining us via Skype like we promised you before the ad break. Go Claudine. You must learn something?
We are
Comedy.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like it heals every situation.
It really does, and in this instance I'm so happy to be speaking about this because mental health is a huge thing in South Africa in general, especially with us as young people, because there's so many uncertainty going on, and if you can, you know, laugh through it and just be helped by comedy in any sort of way to heal from a mental health, which is exactly what it is that they are doing, which is a great initiative.
Yeah, good day Claudine, and thank you for joining us.
Hi guys! Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm in Cape Town and Joburg at the same time.
Wow.
Imagine that. Before we dive into
I'm
deeper
in Cape
things.
Town, but I'm in Joburg. This is amazing.
Yeah. Claudine, I just want to find out very quickly, is there a difference between anxiety and depression?
You know, I don't actually think so. I mean, I'm not an expert, so I can't say in terms of diagnosis what's what. But for me, I feel that one comes with the other. You know, it's very unlikely that you're going to feel anxious consistently and not get depressed.
Right. And I think what you're doing is such a lovely initiative. Can you please tell us more about what it is that you guys are doing? I know definitely you're using the funnies to make sure that we're curbing some of the things that have to do with mental health. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So we at Jittery Citizens, which is my improv comedy company, basically we are using improv comedy techniques to curb anxiety. So we are doing 8-week masterclasses for anyone and everyone. You don't have to be a performer, you don't have to be a comedian to join, which basically speaks to eliminating fear and living in your true potential.
Wow. Do we have to pay money? Do we have to pay money for these classes, Claudine?
So yes, you do have to pay money for them, and paying money for your mental health, I think, actually is a great thing. And the reason why is because if you pay for it, you're committed to it.
Sure.
You know, the work we do is kind of like a gym. You've got to come back week after week and, really be committed to improving your mental health. And the truth is it's really fun.
Right.
But what we found, I've done a lot of free online webinars as well. And what I've found is that the moment you say something is free, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm signing up. But they don't really connect. So our classes are extremely affordable. They're extremely affordable, but we absolutely do charge, yeah.
Just to eliminate the confusion, Claudine, I want to find out, am I attending the classes to make people laugh, or am I attending the classes to laugh?
So most of my clients and most of the people I work with are not performers. They're not comedians. They're everyday people like you guys who are interested in looking after their mental health, and it's using comedy techniques. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you expect me to be funny. I'm not a comedian. How can I do it? The beautiful thing about improv is anybody and everybody can improvise.
Right.
And I mean, we improvising now. We're having an improv conversation, you and I. So what we find is that the reason why improv is such a fantastic tool, and it's actually been used since the beginning of improv for social anxiety, and now it's used for pandemic anxiety.
Right.
But what we find is when people improvise, you use your lateral prefrontal cortex, which is this part of the brain. It's the part of the brain that lights up when we creatively visualize, when we meditate, when we're in the moment, we're forced to be present, right? The part of the brain that goes cold is somewhere over here, And it is the part of the brain that is very concerned. We call it the monkey brain. It's the brain that like repeats itself. And it's the part of the brain that is very concerned with the future, uncertain things, unknown, unknown events, worry. So what actually happens is when we improvise, this part of the brain lights up, our creative flow, and the part of the brain that shuts down is that self-sabotage part of the brain that says, I'm not good enough and I care what people think. So we find that improv comedy as a training tool is so incredibly liberating. 100% of the feedback we get, because people aren't sure what improv comedy really is in this country, because they only used to like Whose Line Is It Anyway or Saturday Night Live. So 100% of the feedback we get is that was terrifying at first, but thank you, it changed my life.
It scares me and
So
excites
it
me
really
at the same time.
be open.
Me too. And now I just want to know.
It's so intense, but in the best way, because you're learning through laughter and play. And we as adults often forget how to do that.
Right.
You know?
And I just want to
We
know.
forget how to open up our brain.
Are you dealing with just anxiety,
Sorry,
or are we dealing with depression, or are we dealing with bipolar? There's so many different mental illnesses that exist. Are we just honing it in to just anxiety? Are we just dealing with anxiety or depression or anxiety and bipolar and all the mental health illnesses that do exist?
So if I were to tell you all the benefits of doing improv comedy training, we would be here for an hour. You know, it's things like thinking quickly on your feet, learning to trust your intuition, operating from your creative genius, learning to actively listen, learning to be present. You know, the benefits are numerous. So because of that, I do the exercises and the courses that I do are the same courses I do with top global conglomerates overseas and little children, you know, and that just shows you how many people can be affected and helped by applying improv to their everyday lives and learning this type of training. So absolutely, it's not just anxiety, it's not just for anxiety. I would say if you have any mental health disorder, this is a great way to combat that using laughter.
What if you do not have mental health disorder?
So, you know, I deal with people who are from all walks of life. You don't have to be depressed to do this. You know, a lot of people come to me and they're like, you know, I'm not really suffering from anxiety, but I want to learn to trust myself more. Or I want to learn to think quickly on my feet, or I want to learn how to listen and be present and be a team player, you know? So absolutely, even if you don't have mental health issues, this is a great platform for you to truly express yourself, you know, and to learn how to do that.
Are you doing it online? Or, because I mean, during social distancing, we're not encouraged to actually hold formal classes, so I'm guessing this is happening on Zoom, on Skype?
Yes, so it's happening on Zoom, and to be honest, I was actually, when the pandemic first broke out and lockdown first started, I was quite terrified to do improv online because I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. It's all about human connection. It's all about teamwork. How is this going to actually function? So what I did was I went to one of the like big schools overseas and I did one of their online classes, and I was like, this works. This works, you know. It's just I was terrified that it wasn't going to be the platform, but the benefits are absolutely just as great as if we were in person. So yeah, totally, it's on Zoom.
Claudine, I've got a very great idea. We need to invite you on the show one more time so that we know how to subscribe, how to enroll ourselves, and how much this will cost. Because we are pressed for time, we have to say goodbye to you and to the viewers. And thank you so much for joining us.
I adore you guys. I'm coming back.
Yes, you
we're
are
about
coming
to
back.
say.
Everybody heard I'm coming back. You guys
Yes.
are the
You
best.
are.
Thanks for
People that we know that are coming back is you, of course. Tomorrow morning you can catch the repeat of this very show between 7 and 8. And then tomorrow we're coming to you live between 4 and 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been EKSE Live. So exciting, so much information from Lucia, Claudia, Siavuya, and Tammy. Thank you for tuning in and choosing EKSE. It's time for us to say
goodbye.
yeah.
Adios.